Now it's getting close, less than 24 hours. The ruling All Progressives Congress says it's confident in the victory of its chosen candidate, Godswill Akpabio, as the next president of the Senate. On the eve of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, President Tinubu met with the governor of Imo State and chairman of the APC Governors Forum, Hope Uzodimma. The governor says a committee set up by President Tinubu to resolve the leadership dispute has made significant progress. Akpabio has assured Nigerians of a united 10th Senate.
I had a useful discussion with Mr. President, and the outgoing Senate President has also committed to working to ensure that our preferred candidate for the position will be elected tomorrow. So it is a very big development that the political harmony will eventually guide tomorrow's process. So the political party, which is APC, working with other political parties, because what is at stake is national interest, the interest of our country, and how to ensure that the new president is supported to succeed.
I assure you that every senator is important, and there's no political party once I'm inside there. Everybody is important, and all political parties shall be carried along. In the business of politics, not everybody will be on the same page. But here we have over 90% of people supporting the choice of the party. And I believe that even those that are not on board, I assure them that I will carry them on board.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined in the studio by the former governor of Ebonyi State and senator-elect representing Ebonyi South Senatorial District, David Umahi. Good to see you, and thanks for your time as always. I know it's a busy moment for everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, we were able to at least pull you out just for a bit, so we'll be done with this quickly. Good to see you. And the hours are very close.
Yeah, sure.
And I just heard Senator-elect Godswill Akpabio there say that 90% are on the same page with your party for his candidacy.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, I think, thank you very much. I think the leader of government, the leader of our party, His Excellency President Asiwaju, has a very unique way of doing things. Instead of calling the APC governors-elect and the reps-elect, he decided, as the father of the nation, to call all the senators-elect and to call the reps, members-elect, irrespective of the political parties. And in that meeting, he spoke like a father. And I think everybody was touched. And it's the first time such approach, is being adopted. And so I think it has a kind of melted the heart of everybody. And everybody had to shield, his or her sword and say, look, we have to, build a nation. It's not about political party now. It's about, national interests. It's about putting Nigeria first. And so when the incoming Senate President, by God's special grace, says that over 90% across all the political parties, about 8 political parties, he cannot be wrong.
Now that you're here, help us make sense of this, because there's a video just before you came into the studio showing that Osita Izunaso has stepped down. Is that true?
Well, I wouldn't say he stepped down or he didn't step down, but we had a meeting, with the chairman of PGF, All Progressive, Governors Forum, and our leader, Governor Hope Uzodimma. All the 15 senators from South, senators-elect from Southeast were there. And Senator Akpabio was there, Barau was there, the former governor of Kano State, the DG of our campaign. Don't forget, I'm the chairman of, the campaign of Akpabio Barau, and Senator Ndume is the DG. So we were all there, and he addressed us, he spoke to us, and the entire Southeast, senators-elect agreed to endorse Akpabio Barau ticket. And that's what just happened a few hours ago. And I also was with the South, when the former governor of Rivers State, he's been working very hard for this ticket. Also called the, senators.
Working for the party's choice.
Of course, for the national interest. For the national interest. Of course, for the national interest. Wike has always been a man, for national interest, for the stability of the country. He puts the country ahead of each and every one of us interests. And so he called a meeting of all the, senators elect, South, and they made similar, approach, and they endorsed Akpabio Barao ticket. So we are coasting to victory, but let me say that there's no victor, there's no vanquish. We are all members of the same, family. The moment we cross the gate of the National Assembly, it's all about Nigeria. It's not about political parties. So the president has put Nigeria first. And all the political parties, they have
this seems to still be a very tricky one for the Red Chamber, the Senate specifically, because it's an easy ride now for the Green Chamber, the House of Representatives, because it looks like everyone has abided by the party's choice, saying that, yes, we will go with Tajuddin Abbas.
And that is from Northwest, okay?
Good.
And so there is
but we don't see the same with the Senate.
No, it will come. I'm sure it will come.
And they always say the Senate is more mature.
Yeah, but I can tell you something, it's unethical and it's irrational for anybody to think that the Senate president will come from Northwest and the speaker will come from Northwest. Now the course is very clear for the speaker. It's an assurance by God's special grace that the speaker is coming from Northwest. And so any other person, that is contesting from Northwest, it becomes a moral burden, beyond the national interest.
So what kind of assembly, 10th assembly, are we likely to see? Should your candidate, should Godswill Akpabio get elected? Because some are already saying that for Godswill Akpabio, you must reverence your president. But they say his kind of reverence for the president goes into a kind of, maybe kind of worship, he deifies the president. And they think that such would create some kind of easy ride for some issues that may not be people friendly in terms of good representation.
Let me tell you something. I think he's going to be the luckiest Senate president because the president himself, was a senator. The president, was on this journey in the past 30 years. Look at the steps the president has taken. There is none of them you can fault. They are all courageous steps and they're for the interest of this country. So I think, saying the 10th Senate to be rubber stamp, is misplaced because this man came by the finger of God and he came to solve the problem of this country. And within 10 days, you can see the steps taken. No one has been able to criticize any of the steps. So Senator Akpabio's Senate presidency is going to be an added advantage because the man sabi road. He knows what he's doing. He's called of God to do this job. So we're going to have a very smooth relationship between the executive and then the legislature. That's what I expect.
What kind of conversation are you having now? I'm talking about your other colleagues, Senator-elect, especially all the former governors. Senator-elect Yari is a former governor. Senator-elect Akpabio is a former governor. Dave Umahi, right before me, is a former governor.
Yeah.
So one would have thought that the former governor camaraderie would have been sold out to people like Senator-elect Yari and cause an easy ride for Senator-elect Akpabio to become Senate President.
I think we're on that course, Yari is a team player. I'm sure he's going to do what he's very known for, by, coming on board. He has shown whom he is, he's a man to reckon with, but I believe strongly that the national interest must be uppermost his heart as we speak right now. So I believe strongly, and nobody should run him down. He's a good man, he's a good man. He's going to endorse Akpabio. And I must thank Mr. President, the Vice President, and the immediate past Senate President, Senator Lawan. He endorsed Akpabio, and he promised that all his, those working with him will do likewise. So you should be asking us, how do we manage, everybody now? Everybody is collapsing into, the national interest. And so, as the chairman of the campaign, it's a task that we have to say no. Whether you were there and you were here, we are one people. And that's what we are just doing now. So I took excuse from that meeting. We must definitely move into the Senate as one. And I can assure you by God's special grace and the grace of God upon my life, whatever I put my hands upon, God has always helped me. There will be no second nomination. It's going to be Akpabio and Barao, Senate President and Deputy Senate President.
You know what? I thank you for obliging Arise, prime time, your time to get out of that meeting to speak with us and talk to Nigerians. Let's quickly talk more about the opposition within the Red Chamber and how yourself and others, specifically yourself, Ali Ndume and the others, have been able to speak to them to be on the same page with the APC, because one would have thought that Yari or those other camps would have, locked up the numbers from the opposition to go against
No, I think we have a
parties.
very critical situation in our hands, So mischief makers, before the election, even the opposition, they kicked against the Muslim ticket, under APC. And since they did that, they wouldn't want number one to be, Muslim, number two to be Muslim, number three to be Muslim. And that's why immediately they had to forget about party interest and they put forward the national interest, the stability of the country, the oneness of the country, the unity of the country. And they also see the focus of Mr. President that has good intention for the country. And when we're running this, and people, especially in Southeast, uppermost in their mind is Muslims say, no, God has intention of what he wants to use Tinubu Asiwaju to do. And I'm not surprised what he's doing, because I had that, conviction. I had that inner, agreement, from God, that God has decided to show mercy upon this country. And his steps these few days, they're wonderful. They're wonderful, and I commend him very highly, and I thank God for bringing him, and ask everybody to be on board. What is he looking for? Is it money or what? He has had it all. Is it fame? Is it making kings and so on and so forth? So God has given me the opportunity, to also contribute in a greater dimension, in building this country. Don't forget, this man has suffered so much, in building democracy. He's been imprisoned, during the Nadeko. There is nothing that he has not done good.
Sorry to come to you here. If you can just take a minute and look to the video.
Yeah,
that's the video that's trending.
Yeah.
And you're here.
Yeah.
But I can't see Ojus Okalu, who is a prominent, figure.
No, there is another video.
There's another one.
There's another video that has everybody. Zunazo was there, and Ojus Okalu was there. Akpabio was there. I think this is just to announce the position of Southeast senators elect. It doesn't mean everybody must be there, but I think only two people, Zunazo and Senator Ojus Okalu. We're not there, but you can see the rest of the. Okay, you can see Zunazo.
Yes,
you can see him there.
Yeah,
he's there. Okay. I think Koji took, permission, because he has, people that were waiting for him. So,
but he's with you on the choice.
I want to believe that in our discussion, he didn't oppose, the adoption of Senator Akpabio Barao. He did not oppose that. He also requested for more meeting, and our leader, the chairman of PGF, is going to further engage him, but we are all on board.
Let me quickly see if we can close on this. Your state is host to one of the biggest Islamic schools in Africa.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about religion and talking about how the need for us to come together, I am always interested in people who have had a thing on, inclusive reasoning in terms of religion. How did you manage with the non-Christians, especially having that school in Afikpo, and what it meant to the people in your area?
Yeah, that school was there before I was born. And incidentally, it's in the home, town of, Dr. Kanubiam. And it's the man that I can say brought, Christianity, to that eastern part of, Nigeria. And so you can see, tolerance. You can see that national orientation that we all serve one God. And so anybody that is doing any preaching, Allah is God, God is Allah. And so we all worship the same God. And so I had no problem as a governor, you know, in a kind of religious tolerance. I sent Christians on, you know, Christian pilgrimage. I sent the Muslims also in Mecca. And so that proved that we are one people. And so I'm not a religious, you know, bigot, but you see, there is a perception. And that is the perception that, you know, dealt with, you know, us as APC people. And that's what we're trying to cure. And I've always said, look, if your house needs a full reconstruction, but there is a leaking roof, you have to amend that leaking roof first, and then you begin the reconstruction. So this issue of religion in our polity is not a good thing, but there is a leaking roof. And that is the perception of, you know, first Muslim, second Muslim, third Muslim. So we are trying to amend that leaking roof. And then we come as leaders of this country and say, look, we shouldn't drag religion into our polity. You know, we should be based on capacity. It should be based on the interests of the country. That's what I think.
Senator-elect Dave Umahi, many thanks for speaking with us.
What do you think? Don't you think we've done very well? Yeah.
You know, I did the asking tonight. Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, good night and thanks for watching.